opened fire on thousands of demonstrators who were defying a government curfew in Baghdad. The protesters are demanding action against corruption, unemployment and a lack of basic services. As funerals took place across the capital, the Prime Minister called for peaceful talks to end this crisis. For more on this story, I'm joined by Hadeel Abdul Hamid from La Trobe University. Thank you much for joining us. This is a repeat of previous protests that spread quickly to cities right across Iraq. What do protesters want and why are they so angry with the Adel Abdel Mahdi government?
Well, the protesters, they have their own legitimate rights because they're asking for basics of any human being. That's clean water, electricity, employment, the basic of healthcare coverage. But government, one after the other, they only provided promises. They haven't provided more than promises, and it's getting really hard, specifically after ISIS empowered Mosul and Ramadi, leaving heavy legacies after them. The rate of unemployment, the rate of people under the poverty level is getting really higher, and the governments are doing nothing.
As you mentioned, Iraq is the 12th most corrupt country in the world. That's according to Transparency International. Youth unemployment stands at around 25%. What do you think it'll take to turn this situation around, to turn these promises into something more concrete?
Well, I think it's the idea to have people who do really understand what Iraqis need, and they would provide logical and applicable plans to help Iraqis to over this dilemma, if I would say. At least providing some opportunities to young people, implementing specific social care, health care. Definitely this won't be a near future, but at least people would need to see someone is working on this or providing these logic plans, at least, rather than promises. Yeah.
Hadeel, the government seems to be very concerned with these protests spreading. We know that because there are curfews in place. Reportedly, internet coverage has been cut off across parts of the state. Live broadcasts from the protests restricted. Facebook, Twitter, also in the dark. Could this, iron-fisted response actually do more harm than good here?
Well, despite this, people still contact either each other through phones, or they would go physically to meet each other and plan to go to Al Tahrir Square or through the center of the city. This will definitely make people more angry, because that means they don't have the right even to express themselves, or they don't have the right of expression. So I don't think that what Adel Abdel Mahdi is doing, instead of opening the doors for those people, to speak to them, rather than he's trying to shun them away and not listening to them. So I think this will make it really worse.
Now, there was anger over the sudden dismissal of Lieutenant General Abdul Wahab al-Saadi over the weekend, who was demoted from his post. He was the commander of counter-terrorism, considered something of a hero there for his role in retaking the city of Mosul from the Islamic State group after a 9-month siege there in 2017. What's the significance of his removal?
Well, that could be one of the reasons that Iraqis didn't like this, the idea of dismissing Abdul Wahab al-Saadi, because he is representing a national hero, and the idea to restructure Iraqi military forces or security forces, and starting by Abdul Wahab al-Saadi, is definitely not a good decision so far. And the idea there is no one actually, or there is no another alternative for Abdul Wahab al-Saadi, and the decision to put him away is making things worse also.
Yeah. Do you think that this kind of volatility within the Iraqi state could pave the way for the re-emergence of the Islamic State group?
No, I don't think so. Specifically after Daesh were kicked out of Iraq, people knew clearly what Daesh ideology was, and no, definitely not. But the idea is that the mix of different emotions among protesters, of anger, could be intimidation of a bleak future. This might control most of Iraqis rather than adapting or going back to ISIS ideology. No.
Hadeel Abdul Hamid, thank you very much for sharing your insights with us here on the ABC News channel.
Thanks.
The ACCC has warned that 20